Okay, so today we're going to make Bannock, and I'll tell you what you need. First of all, let's put the oven on 375. Okay, now that your oven's set, I'll let you know the list of ingredients. This is only 5 ingredients, which is excellent. You're going to need 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of water, half a cup of oil, a dash of salt, and a heaping tablespoon of baking powder. Alrighty, so with the flour, I use multigrain and sometimes whole wheat pastry flour, but for today I'm just going to use multigrain because it's all I have around the kitchen. So whatever kind of flour you enjoy, go for it. So we're going to take 2 cups of flour to begin with. Even though I called for 3, I'm only going to use 2 for the mixing portion. I'll move the camera down a little bit so you can see my bowl. Okay, 1, 2. Now I'm going to need a cup of water, so I'm just going to go grab that. Straight on top. Now, Bannock has been around forever, and this is actually my grandma's recipe, except for she uses milk and sometimes animal fat as the oil. So I've changed that to using olive oil and a mixture of olive oil, which this is just regular extra virgin. So I'm going to use half a cup of oil. So I use actually a 1/4 cup of the olive oil, and this is just my preferred recipe. And then the rest, I use coconut oil, which if you're vegan, this is a great oil to have because it's actually a healthy saturated fat. If you're a meat eater, you don't want to use this oil because this oil does have saturated fat and would just add to your saturated fat that you already get in your diet. Okay, so I'm just going to pour this in. Now you can use any oils you have in the kitchen, whatever you're comfortable with. It's not a big deal. I prefer this mixture because I've tried a bunch of different oils, and the olive oil just gives a really nice taste to it. I recommend that you buy all organic oils because pesticides and chemicals sprayed on crops tend to stick to fat the best. So if you're buying organic oil, then you know you're getting a good product. And thankfully, Superstore has their own organics brand now. And I tend to buy a lot of that stuff because it's a lot cheaper than other places. So just a dash of salt. Okay, nothing too crazy. And a heaping tablespoon of baking powder. Now, just because you're vegan, it doesn't mean you have to have a bunch of specialized ingredients in your kitchen. You can have, all the stuff that you used to eat, you just adjust it and read and do research and figure out what's good to have in your kitchen if you're vegan and to your own tastes, of course. So I'm making this Bannock right now like this. Now, if you wanted to put blueberries or chocolate chips in here, you would do that in the dry ingredient portion before you put the liquid in. You'd mix your berries or your chocolate chips right in with the dry stuff. So I'm not adding anything to it this time because I'm just going to make a plain one to show you how to do it. Okay, I'm going to throw some garbage. Now this is the fun part, and it's kind of gross, but it's kind of good. Make sure to have 1 cup of flour sitting there waiting for you to use because you will need it. So I even kind of heap it because I tend to really mix it up. So I'm just going to show you now me mixing the Bannock. I use my hands. Uh-oh. Okay, it's kind of turning into a goopy mix, but luckily the oil gives a nice slipperiness to your fingers, so it actually comes off your fingers easily. Okay, hopefully you just didn't see my screensaver, but if you did, okay. It's pretty, isn't it? I don't know why it popped on like that. Okay, so I'm just adding flour to this mixture as I knead it with my hands. Okay, and I'm just mixing it all around. If you want, you can use a wooden spoon and then just knead at the end. It's totally up to you. But I prefer to just knead the whole way through. So this is my grandma's recipe, this Bannock recipe. So we have to give props to Grandma Pat and her delicious Bannocks. And I'm so proud of her because she switched to multi-grain flour a few years ago and bakes with multi-grain flour and some healthy flours and completely stopped cooking with, hey, Amelie, with, whatchamacallit, Sheldon. Oh. I'm not even on the video right now. I'm just mixing, but my daughter really wants to be a part of it. She's really cute. So my oven is still preheating.
Come on, sweetie.
Okay, and I'm just kneading, and it's getting to a fairly good doughy consistency. If you're like anything like my grandma, she's been kneading dough since she was a kid, and she has strong arms. She could take down anybody, including me. Okay, so I didn't even actually use my entire cup of flour, and that's okay. You'll know when you're at the right consistency. You don't want it to be gummy. Hi, sweetie. Okay. Oh, the screensaver keeps popping up. I'm going to fix that for my next video. Okay, I'm just going to push this up now. I love MacBook. Okay, so now we have this beautiful hunk of dough. We don't want to use any more fat, so we're just going to put this on the pan with some cornmeal. I came up with this idea, and I'm sure tons of people do it, because of pizza. Sheldon, can you please grab Amelie? I'll be like 2 more minutes of cooking. So pizza crusts, and pizzas, the bottom of pizzas always use cornmeal so that the pizza dough doesn't stick to the pan. So I decided to do the same thing because I had some laying around.
Mommy's busy. Emily.
Okay. My crying baby, but she's okay. Amelie, say hi to the camera. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Say yummy cooking. Yummy. Love you.
I love you.
Good job. Alrighty. So, my daughter is being raised a vegetarian. She does still consume dairy. We did take her off cow's milk, but she has cheese and cream cheese with the kids at daycare, and that's okay. I believe her body... 1 second, Emily. 1 second. Dad, please. It's seriously like another minute. And I put her...
Here, and I can't stop her from running away.
Make her a fort.
You wanna go to the park?
Oh, okay, well now they're going to go to the park. We're almost done here. So all I'm doing is I just spread the bannock out, see, like that with my hands. And like I said, there's an oiliness to the bannock, so I don't even have stuff all over my hands. And now I just like to sprinkle the top with some cornmeal too, and I sprinkle the bottom of the pan. So my oven's ready. I'm going to put this in the oven at 375 for 25 minutes. All right. We'll see you at the end of those 25 minutes. You'll know when your bannock is ready because it will have slightly brown on the edges. So I'll see you in 25 minutes.